I want to start by saying you have delivered these great performances the last few years opposite these women that have been doing these. Do you know what I mean? Like,
no, I appreciate you saying that. Thank you, man.
But what has it been like? Because you have. I really liked your work in the Bronze. I, Tanya. You have this, and it's like these are some. You know what I mean?
No, I've been I've been lucky to find, these projects that I've felt very passionate about, and I think for me it's just about the director, like you kind of start out there, and then I mean, particularly after I, Tanya, I was just sitting there going, this was such a great experience, and Margot and the collaboration we had on that movie, how am I ever going to find that kind of a thing again? And then I just lucked out sort of with this, which is really, right up there for me in terms of experience, because not only somebody, I mean, Nicole it's just that sort of that person that, you grow up and you see them up there and you immediately put them on a pedestal, but she was, like another peer to me. I mean, she was so generous and kind of made me feel very included right away. I mean, we didn't have any rehearsal. We shot my stuff chronologically, which was helpful for us. But from the get-go with her and Karin, it was always like teamwork and kind of feeling very included. And yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm happy to, if I can continue the streak like this, and support a great sort of actress of that caliber in a very, in an important kind of female-oriented film. I mean, why not?
You have a very cool look in the film. I'm curious, what was that like going out and like, because you look normally like this. You have you're rocking this tattoo. You got the haircut.
Well, Karin was, she said, look, I feel like we should try something different and kind of like shave your head and stuff. And I was like, perfect. I mean, anytime you want to kind of change things up, I'm always grateful for that, because it helps me sort of, not fall into my usual comfort zones and whatever. And, immediately I thought about my mom, because I knew it was going to freak her out a little bit. And then we had these tattoos that Karin wanted me to have tattoos, and then I personalized them. And one of them ended up being actually a picture of my mom that we transferred as a tattoo. And I had them for probably a month. So it was just very, it was interesting, kind of like, changing it up.
Did you ever go to like Starbucks and just, or like a store and rocking with all this and just notice you were treated a little different?
Well, it's always fascinating to see how people respond, based on sort of appearance and things like that. But I didn't really notice. Maybe I felt a little cooler.
Oh, completely. One of the things also is that this is made on a limited budget, limited time frame. You had to film that bank sequence, which is a action-heavy set piece. Yeah. And I guess you had like 2 or 3 takes to get it right, and it's all in camera.
Well, they shot that very real time. It felt like they had shot it from security cameras, and they had shot it from different angles, and it was, Karin really wanted it to be as authentic as possible to what it could potentially have, how it would have played out, and then also she wanted that thing to kind of go down as messy and as unpredictable as possible. And when you see the movie, I guess you'll know what I'm referring to. But that's the thing with these movies; they get like 30 days. This movie was about 30 days, and I mean, of shooting, and it's just kind of crazy to think, you could make that happen. But I think there's a positive thing to sometimes feeling like you don't have a lot of time and you have to show up right away and jump right in and not spend a lot of time overthinking. I mean, obviously for her as a director, it's probably a crazier experience, but as actors, sometimes that time limit it can work to your advantage.
Completely. My last thing for you. You have a few improv-heavy projects that you've done.
Yeah. Oh God.
Up.
Yeah. These 2. Yeah. Right now with Drake Doremus.
Right. Totally.
Yeah.
And I'm just curious if you could just talk to people real quick about what those are.
So there's a project I did in Greece. I'm still shooting it right now, and that's sort of like a weird, like the director there calls it a rom-com gone wrong. That's how he calls it, and it's very much in that Blue Valentine Before Sunrise world about, this couple, and then I ended up working on this project here with Drake Doremus' new movie with Jamie Dornan and Shailene Woodley, who are probably some of my favorite people I've ever met. And again, it's like a very improv. And if you're familiar with his films, like it's all about the experience as opposed to the execution. And I'm finally understanding kind of from him what that means. But yeah, it's just great because it frees you up, and you know, in a way you end up feeling more vulnerable because you're sort of creating the thing as you're going, and you don't have like the structure of a scene. But you get some moments like when you see those movies that you know, like that was what was happening in real time. Like that will be as honest as you know of a scene as you'll get. You know, so it's just kind of a different way of working. But it's been enjoyable a lot.
I gotta go. Congrats on this movie.
Thank
for
you,
real.
man. Yeah,
And it's a
nice
pleasure
to see you.
you.
I'll see you soon, I feel.